Okay, yeah. So I'm back here. I'm watching John Oliver. That's John Oliver. He's covering on now season 8, since I am actually doing something most people will not do. Go back to the history, relive something from somebody that you got a lot of high respect for a fact that this is not just any ordinary comedian. This man takes the news like many other comedians out there that a lot of people will think are just liberal all the way to the left. No, no, no. They stand for the truth. Regardless of what their political feelings are, they're not the ones who are controlling our country. We are. We, the Americans. I am upset and concerned, but not pissed, not livid, not crying, not emotionally torn because Donald Trump won. No, no. That's on you who voted for him. And I didn't vote for him. I'm not mad at you guys who voted for him. You guys will see what's to come out of the Trump presidency. The Trump elitist, the Trump white nationalist types that he has surrounding him. So where our children are facing right now is a paramount future that we, the people, as Americans, need to unite together. Not divide, not spread hate, not point fingers, not point blame. Now, in this interesting article that John Oliver did, he covered something that happened back in Arizona with abortion, where we took our voting rights in abortion back to 1864, before African Americans who are black even had the right to be considered American, before women haven't had the right to vote. And Donald Trump, when questioned about this in this article, I'm going to say he's got some walking back he's going to have to do on this one, including the Republican Party more so. Because the Republican Party, if you remember what I said, it doesn't matter which political side you're on right now in this climate. It's about who's acting and what they're doing here and now, right now, today, and what they're going to be doing for the future. Because our children, generations of our children, our kids, their grandkids are going to have to answer for this because of what we're doing. Millennials, Gen X, all of those in that field. Even the baby boomers are involved in this. All generations are involved in this. Arizona, that's the state in this segment he covers. I don't know why every time I cover him, he's got some screwed up looking emotion on his face like he's squeezing out a word. But the gist is Arizona passed, as he covers this in detailed depth covering of how boring it is to watch politics over here. Japan did an amazing recreation of their two political parties, and even a Republican in the Japan election was doing something where they recreated the candidates out of Mission Impossible. So we're doing it all wrong, as he covers in this segment. We need to do it more like them, and you can already tell that that's not where anything happened. And now covering into this, Arizona upholds an 1864 abortion ban. You see with that right there? Women, are you mad enough about this? Men, can you believe this? I mean, come on, man. Arizona did this to you. This is Arizonians and the rest of us in America. But you know who stood behind this? I'll show you who stood behind this. In this segment, John Oliver reveals what he always does, which is the truth and the core of the root of it. And even when asked about it from a GOP person to another GOP candidate, but
Republicans across the country. Jim, I don't want states going back to pre-Civil War.
There you go, right there. He said it right there. You don't want states going back to before pre-Civil War. But you know what's messed up about that, as he says that again?
Civil War era laws on reproductive freedom. I mean, women didn't even have the right to vote at that point.
Amen, brother. Amen. Can we hear that again? Women didn't even have the right to vote. Get that out there.
We really want states going back to Civil War era laws on reproductive freedom. I mean, women didn't even have the right to vote at that point.
I mean, come on, ladies. Are you with me or not? I mean, come on. What the hell is this crap? I mean, now, I'm not blaming Trump for this one, but this is on Republicans, the elephant party that I believe is completely dead, completely shot dead. Maga owns it. They own all of it. Maga is in full control, and that's not fear-mongering. That is a fact. Stephen Miller is going to be behind the deportation of millions, hundreds of millions of Mexicans, foreigners, everyone. He's going to be erasing their right to even live here in America. You need to do your research. You guys need to really dig into this stuff. If you're young and you don't know anything about this, check this out in this segment. So, when asked about this, Donald Trump, after this segment, was asked, and this is what he said. And this is disgusting. Check this out. Like, some of the things in Arizona are just disturbing. And some of these candidates, her included.
She said this week that she opposed the ruling, and I guess...
Yeah, she did oppose it, but yeah, they didn't really do anything about it. And that's what she said. She said she's completely thrilled to have that on the books. That's what she said. Read that. That's what she said. That's Carrie Lake. Now, continuing on.
Save the life of a mother.
Unbelievable. And that was before her previous statement that he covered, which is right about here. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me go back. Let me go forward. Skipping past that and this and
Of the 1864 ban. So they knew that as soon as Roe was overturned, that ban was likely to become law. And
yeah, there's another problem. Arizona did that completely in the political atmosphere, in the cahoots with the whole turnback that Donald Trump took full claim over about repealing Roe versus Wade. Now, apart from Clint Bullock and his reggae racism and all that other nonsense, the ridiculousness of the ignorance of some of those people out there,
became actual.
you know, he had a major regret there. State Senator T.J. Shope. Now, continuing on here a little further into the article, this is what Donald Trump said when he was asked about this.
Started out as theoretical and suddenly became actual, even if you didn't really want it to. That could.
Speeding up a little bit, again, Donald Trump, he says this in response.
That would be. This Arizona decision is so toxic. Even Donald Trump this week. You
See?
have to try
See?
and condemn it.
Even Donald Trump.
Arizona go too far? Did Arizona go too far? Yeah, they did, and that'll be straightened out.
See? He said it.
It's all about states' rights, that'll be straightened out.
You get that, Trump supporters? He said it's too toxic. MAGA supporters? 1864? It's too,
Okay, there is a lot to hate there from.
way too much. But again, John Oliver does unveil the fact that there's a lot to unpack. Trump doesn't make a lot of sense. He's partially responsible for this. Well, I guess we're going to have to see about that, because right now it comes down to Republicans. And again, watch this again. This is what Trump says.
Trump this week. You enough to try and condemn it.
Try to condemn it.
Did Arizona go too far? Did Arizona go too far? Yeah, they did, and that'll be straightened out. And as you know, it's all about states' rights, that'll be straightened out. And I'm sure that the governor and everybody else are going to bring it back into reason, and that will be taken care of, I think, very quickly.
Okay, there is a lot to hate there from blaming Arizona for a mess that he largely created to.
Well, John Oliver states that that's a mess that Donald Trump largely created. I think it's about the Republicans and the Americans who made that possible, because it's we the people. Now, again, I want to remind you guys a shocking fact. America, as I've come to already know and already understand, is that the rich and the elite already control everything, and the oligarchs. And the popular vote, the only reason why Donald Trump won that is because of how low the bar is. The American bar right now in our politics, while every other country's judging us for who Donald Trump won, it's because the bar is that low. Children, are you getting that? Parents, are you getting that? MAGA supporters, Democrats, independents, everybody getting that? The bar is literally that low. We should not be proud Donald Trump won. What we should be proud of is that we, the American people, for the first time, we showed something that oligarchs commonly try to hide behind. They hide behind the Electoral College. And the fact that even if we want somebody who's popular, remember in, 2020, everybody wanted Trump to beat Biden, but Biden won. Perfect example. You know, now Donald Trump's popularity just barely passing the margins, scraping by with the bare popularity and unfavorability ratings that he did, wasn't on a high. That was on the basis of those who truly still stand loyal to him. Not just his hardcore supporters, but those who are uneducated, pissed off, angry, and frustrated with the direction of this country. And I'm not angry at those people who are angry and upset in the direction of this country. But when you talk about what's going to come out of the Trump presidency, Republican presidency, which is going to be solidly Donald Trump, who, if you go back to 1990, he was a proud Democrat, still is, a proud donkey, proud Jack, you know the rest of that one. So he's now running the Republican Party. He's been playing that book from 2016 onward. He's been building his entire case ever since Obama shunned him at the dinner party and made fun of Donald Trump. That's why Donald Trump ran. He ran out of bitterness, vengeance, whatever format of anger and frustration. That's why he did it. Every American who voted for Trump, that's your choice. That's your right. You had every right. I support those who voted for Trump. Absolutely. Those who follow my channel, I welcome MAGA supporters. I welcome Republicans. I also welcome Democrats here, because this is not just about MAGA. The picture is bigger, but MAGA is behind it. Some of the core leading players in that party and people behind Donald Trump right now, they're the ones we need to hold accountable, including Republicans, even outside of Donald Trump. When we come to vote in 2028, we need to vote with a viciousness, and every single degree up to that point, vote with a viciousness to protect the very fragile reality that we don't actually have full control over our democracy. We're the last standing people, the human people, from our kids to our children to generations, present day, here and foremost. We're the last ones who have the chance to do something. The rich and the powerful, not even Hollywood, okay? Just the rich and the powerful and those in some of those high up in Hollywood, but more so the rich and the powerful and the highest elite people, including Elon Musk and many others that are the richest and wealthiest in the world. And even some of those are speaking out and not necessarily excited for a Trump presidency, even though it's going to favor the rich, favor the wealthy. Mass deportation of immigrants and all those who do not have a protected status here in America, and even those who do haven't earned their actual green card or citizenship, they're going to watch that get revoked and stripped away. Are you going to be proud of that, America? That you are now responsible for many, many innocent people getting stripped away for jobs that you didn't want to work anyway? Think about that. How many people in your generation wanted to grow up to work as lumberyard workers, steel mill workers, dangerous jobs working around dangerous machinery, tools, oil rig jobs? I'm not saying that we don't have proud Americans that do it, but there's a lot of international, foreign, and people who came here on a green card that are working jobs that most Americans don't want to do. How about growing crops and food in California and other places? Even if that is strictly democratically controlled California, which predominantly has it, they have their Trump supporters there too. Don't just distance California as a far right out Democratic side and completely lost, even though they're talking about it being shipped off the end of the United States pretty soon based on earthquakes, disastrous landslides. You know what's funny? We're all here in America today. We are living in the annals of history today. We need to act every day going forward with more importance on a memory of remembering how bar the low is today and where things are set on the president. It's nothing to be proud of. You can hold your chin up. You can be proud of one thing. Your vote overcame and showed true over the Electoral College and the popular vote. Both of those proved that Donald Trump and the American people's voices matched up nicely. Whether it's really true, he still won. His party won. You who voted for him, you guys won. Now it's on, not just you, but more so you, more than ever. Not just you, the individual, but as a whole, as an entity, and all of us together. That's the message I send to you. Mcluvin News, reporting out as I finish this segment with John Oliver. I'm walking through the annals of history of John Oliver and reminding people every day, with such short attention spans and people who don't have the interest in this stuff, it's stuff that's going to be living with us for the rest of our natural born lives with lies and and truths, and we need to stand up for that truth and defend that. So please follow with me, be proud of what I'm trying to make and make possible. Please join with me. Please be a part of this. I don't ask for money or donation, but if I ever get a chance to start making money and profit, you better believe I'm going to pay back every cent, every effort, every contribution to those who made a cause to fight with me along this journey. Since I know there are many people out there doing their hard work, please show a little bit more love and respect. We don't have time for hate and division in this country. We're going to be united, as we've always been in the United States of America, with rising high tariff costs, mass deportations, and fear and hate spread with all these annals of groups out there that are jumping out and thriving on this Trump presidency. You're going to see so much division, so much hate. There's going to be people rubbing stuff in people's faces. Not just that, but physical attacks and violence and threats. There's already been enough stuff already starting up and spreading already. There was a mass text that I just read early this morning, very sad. A mass scam text trying to, essentially spreading racism with a fake mass text group message that affected every state in the southern portion of the United States in respects to a few southern states, including my state of Florida, that got all of African-American black voters, black American citizens, all of them upset because there was a scam text trying to incorporate them into believing that they've been selected in certain groups to work on a plantation. And that's just despicable. The FBI has already gone after the people behind it. And, you know, a lot of people don't know about that, but my main message here wasn't just about one type of subgroup issue. It's a larger scale problem. There's evil afoot everywhere. By the works of the heavens, the Lord, the Heavenly Father above, I would like to do the work for the people, we as Americans. Since I'm an American citizen, I'm proud to say it. I don't stand for the hate and the Semitism and the disrespect that's being pushed out against many different minorities, regardless of who's afraid about being the minority. I'm white, and I'm trying to defend the fact that I'm sick and tired of this hate and disrespect. I'm a single guy. I can't even find a woman in my life to be a partner with me, but I'd be damn sure not going to be letting the children suffer this for the future. And that I can stand by proudly every day here at Mcluvin News. And to all the women who I hope I continue to grow and support, please pass this along to your female friends, families, mothers, anybody who cares about this great cause that we're fighting in this country, because this is bigger than just one party. This is the whole of we, the people, the soul of America. From every nation, birth person who's come here by the destitute, the poor, every human being that lives here that is not a part of this cult, this fascism, this hate, It's not just that I think that Trump is about fascism, or that the Trump party or the Trump voters are just about that. I'm not about spreading that misinformation, but there are people there that exist that do, and don't be surprised when you start to see them come out of the woodwork in proceeding into the end of this year, into next year. And I quite frankly need to say that Biden and his administration, including Kamala Harris, for her act, what she should be doing is trying to protect people from the dangers of what's coming from the next administration, provided that any of this stuff is even going to be true. High raised tariffs, high costs, mass deportation, raises of inflation. I'm not saying I know it for certain, but it's a guaranteed thing that there's been talk about it. And the question is, we're going to see what comes out of the next presidency, the next presidency for Donald Trump and his administration, including the white nationalist Stephen Miller, who I do not approve of. He should be kicked out of the Trump administration. They should find somebody new. Shouldn't have a white nationalist, white supremacist controlling the mass deportation. It's sickening and disgraceful. We don't need that kind of representation in our presidential house. As I've been told, stop calling it the White House. It's a white terminology from an old predated term. Start calling it something we can all be proud of. The person who represents us. And Trump right now doesn't represent all of us. That's the real truth. He only represents the side who voted for him. And you guys better be strong enough to admit it. That you're not perfect. We're not perfect. This country needs better leadership and better leaders. We got to start holding our higher elected officials responsible and start doing it from the literal roots level. All of our collected minds together. Stop just spreading misinformation, staying with your head buried. Get out there, do something.